Call the Board of Public Works into session. Item 16 is being held. Item number 17 is a resolution to confirm and adopt the report of the Director of Public Works, City Engineer, containing the schedule of proposed assessments for improvement of West Hicks from 76th Street to 81st, 81st from Beecher to Grant, 80th from Hicks to Rogers, and portions of intersecting streets by concrete reconstruction with miscellaneous walk repair, new driveway approaches, storm sewer relay, sanitary sewer relay, water main relay, building services, and utility adjustment. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Rowe.
I guess we're on TV. Urge all the people to take advantage of that sump pump credit.
Now's the time to do it because,
Correct.
as I hammered, it's coming.
Right.
If we want it or not, you might as well get it for free now.
The only problem I have is we're being
Alderman
threatened into
Chapleski.
taking. Sorry, Chair. We're being. The only part I don't like about it, we're basically being threatened into taking it. Granted.
Well, I'm telling you the truth of what's happening.
Right, but I mean, well, not you. I mean, it's coming from MSSD, but
And
it's just
our
saying they're
NDP.
threatening us into taking it. It's but it's just. The only, see what question are you on there? Oh, they can't park semis on the trailers of the semis on the street, can they?
I think what they do is the truck that brings it might drop it for a short period of time, and then they might have a yard truck that they use to back it into their docks. I think that's what's going on there.
But this still can't be legal.
Well, not for. I think they're not supposed to be left for an extended period of time.
Well, once again,
even
extended
so.
period of time. Yeah.
But you've got 130 some jobs in this place.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, are you going to start impacting? I mean, as we all know here, you bent over backwards. I mean, for businesses,
Right,
and rightly so. And there is some inconvenience living next to a place that's got 130 jobs.
I will also say that whenever we have these street things, you always get this. It's the guy down the street with all the trucks or all idling, and citizens, in a sense, are arguing for a transportation utility, something where we add a new layer of government to hire 10 more people to evaluate streets by street, address by address, use of a property, count how many trucks, how big a trucks, how often. I mean, do people not realize? I mean, it's doable and it's done in some communities, but not many. And I've never heard of it as no one's touting it as a solution to this. I think the system that we have is as consistent as we can get it. You can argue about rates, and all that stuff. So,
Mr. Chair.
Alderman Rowe.
And I think also that steel reinforcing that you guys are putting is going to help things along also.
Yeah. My understanding is, even though it says no trucking at 76th Street, that is still considered to be a local delivery down to H&M, which is why we can't ticket them. It'd be just like if you were getting furniture delivered to your home. You can live on a note, but the truck's got to get there. That's my understanding of why trucks are driving down 76th Street and not getting ticketed. So,
I mean, you still got the right to get to your business.
excuse me, down Hicks from 76 down Hicks to H&M. That's my understanding of it. That's how it was described to me. If some citizens haven't been told that, that's what I tell people when they call me. So, but
it means no through trucking.
yes,
Doesn't mean no trucking.
Yeah. Well, anyways, on this, any further discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Alderman Rowe, Alderperson Rowe, Reinke. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Dan. I'm sorry.
Rookie mistake.
That's why I'm just the vice chair.
You cannot
Alderman Wright. Alderperson Wright.
I think we've said this before, but it's from indication. There were a lot of new residents, and certainly they knew the business was there before, and they knew what the business would entail, the trucking, obviously, and they should realize basically what basically takes place with trucks. So I would say that the majority of the people, it sounded like, were just concerned about the trucks impacting the street and the construction of the street. So it sounds like we're prepared for that. So I certainly feel that it's a worthwhile project. Was it 86 years old? The street is?
81st Street was 87.
Yes.
They're all in the 80s.
Right. So it's time.
And the sewer is 100.
Oh, yes, that's even worse. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And if the street's that old, trucks or no trucks, it would still need to be.
It still has longevity, very definitely.
We did 57th Street. That doesn't have trucks. So that was 87 years old.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 18 is the resolution.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. That being,
And then-
that's it for.
No,
we have
got the. I need that back. That's my notes.
We have.
This
yes.
is on Mickey's request.
It's item number C on the recess meeting. Discussion regarding the color of grass. Did everybody get that
Okay.
email and get the message about the color of the sod going in? If you could expound on that.
Okay, let me explain it. Last year when they did 56th Street, we did 56th Street. They put in the sod. It's at least 4 shades darker, a little bit bluer. And I talked to Mike at the time, Rushmore, and asked him about it. And he said, "Well, it's hard to find the sod and everything." And so I kind of just let it go, and thought, "Well, let's see how it looks next year." Well, it looks just as bad all this year. Even though it was cut many times and grew, you still can tell the zigzag they cut into your lawn exactly, the way it is.
Was this us or was this the gas company's job?
No. This is us doing the street. So when I did 57th Street, I knew they're going to same way. Grass is way too dark. But then we had the sewer meeting or sub pump meeting, and I was talking to Chris Sinclair, and I mentioned about the color of grass, and he brought up about that he'd like to pave his lawn, but anyhow, he says he did his when they did his house, they put the same thing, and he says matter of fact now where the two grasses come together, they're germinating or something, and it's like having a third color. And everybody laughed and stuff. And I went back, and it just kind of ate at me. It's things like, well, why? Why are we accepting this? Are they accepting this in Brookfield, Elm Grove? Do they? If you go in there and they come there and say, well, we don't have they don't have that colored grass anymore. And I thought, in my business, somebody brings in a ring with 5 rubies in it, and they all match. I send it when I give it back to them for one that fell out. I give it back to them, and 1 ruby doesn't match, and they come in and say, they just can't find them anymore. The person's going to say, take it back out, I'm going someplace else. They're not going to accept it. But we're West Allis, so we accept it. Now, nowhere in the contract does it say anything about, and I didn't read the contract, but I'm assuming, anything about, that we want the same color grass, but you expect it. You get your car fixed, your fender fixed in your car. You don't say, yeah, I want the same color as the rest of the car. You expect it to be the same as the rest of the car. And so I think that by us accepting this, we're basically accepting Stellis. This is what makes West Allis Stellis. When we accept this shoddy looking stuff, is it horrible? Some people don't care about it. Other people do. But if you just look at it, it just looks stupid. And I don't think it would have to, if at the very first time that they put in this color grass, we went to them and said, "What's this? This is unacceptable. We can't have this in our city. We don't want this. We expect it to be looking like the rest of the grass." It would have been done. They would have changed it. And from now on, it would have been all changed. They wouldn't have done that over and over again. Now, in the letter that I got, it says, what people say, like Mike told me, it says, well, it's just not available. You just can't get the grass. Well, about 10 years ago, I redid my backyard. Went down to Whistles over off Greenfield Avenue. Picked up sod, put it in the yard. Matches everything else. I picked up, tore down a lilac tree right off the sidewalk. Went to that place on Beloit and Highway 100. Picked up half dozen rolls of sod, put it out. Matches all my other grass. But yet, I'm being told this other grass doesn't exist. You can't match it anymore. It's throughout our whole city, but we can't match it anymore.
Is this something that our engineering staff at the construction site has the authority to tell a contractor, yes, that's sod, but no, we're not happy? Or does it have to be written in the specs of the original contract?
Well, what I handed out just tonight and is not only the city spec, but also the DOT spec in there.
Right.
And they've matched the spec.
It said
It says that it should be dense, well-rooted
Yeah.
growth of permanent and desirable grass. This is from the DOT. And it should be practically free of weeds and undesirable grasses and whatnot. You have to understand is that sod that comes out of there, they did the sod work on 57th Street is good. But the problem is that the sod comes out well-watered, well-fertilized. It grows on a very good prepared ground surface. A lot of those properties that don't match simply don't fertilize their grass. I fertilize my grass, my neighbor does not. You can clearly see the line between the two properties out there. And Mickey, that's what you're seeing out there.
So, wait a minute, you're saying that because they don't fertilize their grass, that's why the grass is different?
That's why our grass is, the sod is so green, and that is why, and that's why you see such a problem out there.
But it's a green-blue almost. But and
that's what it's supposed to be. It's
let me
supposed to
take
be
your
a Kentucky bluegrass.
Sure. Let me take your handout here, and it says right in your handout, permanent and desirable grasses indigenous to the general locality in which it's to be placed. You can walk around my entire neighborhood, that color's nowhere. There's no color of that grass except for where we put it. I just think it's us. We got to say, when they put it down.
You just can't do it. I will check around. I'll call around. Remember, other communities simply. This is the only job I've had that they actually sod. The other communities that I've lived in, and the DOT themselves, unless there's an erosion problem, simply seed, mulch, and fertilize.
It's a gas company who's digging up this new sod is seeding out there.
Yeah, I mean.
At the end of
that's
November.
and that's what they'll do. I mean, we go above and beyond to give people this. But I'll check into it. I'll call other communities. I'll email other communities, see what they have sod out there, and I'll go out there and actually take a look. I mean, somebody else has been doing new street work out there too.
I'm sure.
How long would this color? I mean, you said it's been a year. Wouldn't you expect though that if it's fertilized, after a couple winters at least, it should?
Well,
the grass is a nice color. The sod is a nice color.
Yes, but it's just a different color than what people's lawns are or terraces.
Sure. But in talking to Chris, he said, it's starting to become a third color. Now, maybe he's not taking care of it. I don't know. But he said, so it's like, it just, to me, it distracts. And, there's a lot of people that don't care. But we want people to care about their properties. And I care about how that looks.
So, Mickey,
I'll be tearing it up in the springtime and
how are we
changing
going to solve this? Are we gonna spec out? Are we gonna go a different spec versus DOT?
We shouldn't have to
Can do our contracts, like I said, if an inspector is standing there, one of our guys, and before it's signed off, he says, look, or as soon as they start rolling out, if he said to them, that's the wrong color sod, is the contractor just going to laugh in our face?
Yes, sir. I've never heard this complaint before.
Not saying it's not a valid complaint. I'm just wondering if it is something we're going to write into a contract. I imagine it's going to cost us more money.
Well, if we're going to shouldn't have to.
Get it.
You should expect. Why wouldn't you be able to get it? There's no place around here that grows that same color sod.
No, I understand the point that sod farms fertilize and use rich soil and all that.
But how come Whistle doesn't fertilize?
I don't know.
But I went and got sod from them,
There
grass.
was a time I remember when people were stealing sod from county parks. Have you ever? I haven't seen it lately. Every time you could drive by a county park and you'd see somebody came overnight and cut out bootlegs out, long rolls of sod, roll it up and sold it. Maybe that's what ends up at some of these little corner stands. I don't know.
Well, no. This Whistle is a sod farm. They have a farm right there. They cut it themselves.
Casting
Right there.
aspersions on anyone. Well, so
I guess you
what,
just did.
What do you think we can do about this? I don't, our answer would be to put it in the contract, saying that we shall be happy with the color will match. And are we going to have some sort of color gradient chart? And
I don't know. I don't
know how we're going to. I understand what you're saying.
I'm saying it's the broken windows effect once again. We accept this, and then let's accept anything else. Like the 4x4s next to the trees on 56.
Can we get the word out to our contractors that we're not happy with the color of the sod? And
Like
we're
I
shopping
said,
for sod.
we'll check around with other
Okay.
communities first.
See what other
before
communities
we-
do. Other communities
before
that do
we-
sod, that's still sod.
and hope I get some legitimate answers from on this. Because, again, I've been doing this for 34 years now. The work is fine. The work meets the spec. It goes above and beyond the spec. I mean, we've had some lousy sodding jobs out there where contractors
60.
have come back continuously.
60th Street was a
Gaps in between them.
And this is
But it's
with
just
my driving
it's,
up and down, and I asked Mike just to go out there and take a look at it. I didn't put any words in his mouth or anything. Just take a look and tell me what you think. I mean, the side work is a very good. This is one of our better jobs.
We'll see what Hicks looks like next summer.
we're doing a lot of streets next summer, and so
Okay.
Anyway, I'll
Do we
report back.
generally purchase sod from one dealer?
No, the landscaper is responsible for bringing in.
contractor,
They probably get a
So it's up
number
to the
of-
landscaper what kind of sod he wants to bring in. I see.
Usually it comes. I mean, the bad jobs they comes in half dried, half shot.
Yes, I know. I've had some on 99th Street.
Shrinks up right away, big gaps in the middle, and then
Yep.
Yeah.
and go out there and do it again. Go out there and do it again. That's usually the trouble with it.
Any further discussion? Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
Second.
Board of Public Works is adjourned.
You didn't ask everybody? All in favor?
You don't have to vote on it. Is it just a second enough for
We never
adjournment?
discuss a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, it's been
I'll-
discussions. Okay. Let's call license held to order. We have no appearances. First thing, number 26, ordinance to repeal and recreate our food code food establishments. Want to come forward here and tell us what this is all about? What the heck is Rote doing here now?
Yeah, now what?
Putting them to work. Our Board of Health rep.
Yeah, so,
Yep, you can come up, Laura. You guys know Laura.
yeah.
We're just going through and updating the ordinance to reflect the state of Wisconsin food code so that we match up. We've pretty much adopted the statute. And then also updating some of the fees so that we were approved by Board of Health and then also reflect what's in state statute.
Okay, the fees to the
Reinspection fees.
Right, reinspection fees,
okay.
and if we have to keep going back because people are not compliant, we're charging them a little bit more than we have in the
do that.
past.
Okay.
They got it, so, you got it.
So, okay, did everybody get the ordinance and kind of go through it? I don't know.
I was just asked to sign it because I'm on this committee, in the health committee. And Sally did a wonderful job of explaining it.
Yeah. So, right. Do I have a motion?
Move for approval, Mr.
Second.
Chair.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Yeah, it's easy. Just stick around for a little while.
Yeah.
Okay, this was number 25. Which we're not doing. Okay, then we have number 27. Just take number 27.
Move approval.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? You know, there was no discussion on that one. And then we have number 28, 29, 30, 31. These are all police reports placed on file. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Any discussion?
I don't know if it's worth bringing in the whammy bar, but this Peter Gruber, do you remember the discussion?
Yeah, I know he is.
You know, I guess my question is when the guy from the band is drunk, you know, whatever the fight was about, I don't know, but I don't book bands, but we used to, and I may again in the future. And unfortunately, bands typically expect their money and of either a free or discounted bar tab. And I guess my question would be, how are you going to keep this from happening again? I.e., because the band is there, he's essentially working for you. If the guys were from out of state or whatever, But is that you're not supposed to serve somebody when they're drunk? But if the band gets an open bar tab, and they just come up and get more pitchers of beer or whatever, or another round of shots. I mean, is that contributing to this problem? Is this the first? I think it's the first time it was been a band member causing the problem.
I've never heard of one before until.
Yeah. I just thought it was. I thought it was unusual, and I'm just wondering what they're going to do to keep it from happening again.
And what were they arguing over? I didn't quite catch that.
I didn't. It was kept out of the police
Starting
report.
an argument. Yep.
Yeah. So. That would have been my only. I don't think it's worth bringing them in. I think it's maybe something that we should keep on our radar. Is if we have this again, where we have guys in bands drunk.
And as long as, if I may, Mr. Chair, in reading the police reports about Brooklands, it's always amazing how their
Camera doesn't work.
camera only works to their advantage.
Well, apparently not. Apparently it didn't.
Are you making accusations here, Alderman Rowe?
What's that?
Are you making accusations here?
I could be.
Okay, remember, it's Alderman Rowe.
But the thing is that where they're supposed to be recording and it's missing, you can take the negative inference from that since it is missing, that it's showing something that they don't want you to see. That's a proper inference to make.
Okay. So I guess, did they have recordings of the altercation, but not recording of the tire slashing? Or I thought they had no recordings of anything.
Yeah,
and that wouldn't, because the altercation seemed to me like their staff did a good job, I guess, from what I understood. But right, yeah.
In reading it, sounded like it.
But it's the tire slashing side of it that seemed kind of. But I don't think they had any recordings, and it was a parking lot across the street from them, anyways. I don't think it was their own.
But they use that parking lot, whether they lease it or not. But their customers use that parking lot all the time.
Yeah, but we don't require them to have a camera on that.
No.
Okay.
But there are cameras that face out.
Motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn, Mr.
Second.
Chair.
Okay.